Now I'm pleased to introduce Pastor Joel Hunter, the pastor of the 10,000 congregant Northland Church in Florida and one-time president-elect of the Christian Coalition. Dr. Hunter has worked to expand the evangelical political agenda to include issues like fighting poverty and taking care of the environment. And now he will tell you about his work with Third Way on this project. Thank you. Joel?
Thanks. And Rachel, on behalf of us all, I really want to thank you for your leadership in this. It has been empowering and enabling, and we wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. And so thank you very much. I'm Joel Hunter. I'm a pastor of a church in Florida. I'm a member of some boards of directors of some very broad evangelical associations. And so therefore, I think I can speak, at least in the midst of a lot of leaders. The reason that I'm here is because I think that the way that we are dealing with differences in this country simply doesn't work. I think that the progress that we should be making is being forsaken for the sake of argument. I think the tone and the volume that has emerged in this country is creating literally the environment of a civil war between conservatives and progressive, between Christians and secular citizens, between Republicans and Democrats. And so none of us want to compromise our moral stances, nor will we, our moral values, nor will we. The very interesting thing about this group is that it will be a continuing dialogue of people who continue to disagree about many things. But the very value of this group is that we believe that we can make progress, that ideology can be transformed into, ideological considerations can actually be transformed into progress so that everyone can advance down the field, so that there can be common progress in common causes for the common good. And so I'm very excited about the vehicle that Third Way is going to be to help us to think and strategize and accomplish concrete policy goals and legislative, the shaping of legislation. It's a group, I think, that is going to heal some of the division that is in this country, like a stitch in a gaping wound. And I think from our standpoint, it's going to engage many evangelical Christians that have been heretofore sitting on the sidelines while some of the more polarizing figures were blaming each other for the things that were going wrong. And there are a lot, I think, of our constituency that is looking for some sort of reasonable leadership that says, I can make progress in what I believe while respecting people and helping them to make progress in what they believe. So I'm very honored to be a part of this project. Pretty much what we have seen is that the already established religious right is going to stay pretty focused on a narrow group of issues, which, by the way, all of us would agree with. The test is whether or not the majority of evangelicals, given a choice, will choose to expand the issues that they address and the ways that they address them. And so we don't look for any conversions here. We don't look for anything different coming from the Family Research Council. But we do want to be a voice that is an alternative, because unless you have an alternative voice, that is the default for most conservative Christians. And that's what we're trying to start here. Let me just tell you a story. And I think this answers, from my standpoint, your question. I think it has almost taken until now for us to realize this isn't working. Those of us who have been, just take abortion for an example. You know, we've had certain ways that we have thought we could reduce abortions, and when I asked one of the presidential candidates about the reduction of abortion, and after that conversation, I thought I need to do a little bit of research here. So I talked to this lady in my congregation, who was a former dancer, had had 5 abortions. And I said, would you sit down with me and tell me what you were thinking? Tell me the dynamics of that. I just want to understand. And so we spent quite a bit of time together. She told me as she went through that experience and what she faced within the clinic itself, but what she faced as she went into the clinic with those demonstrators, those pro-life demonstrators outside that clinic. And she said, in the clinic, it was, let's just get this over with. You can do, you know, there was no education, there was no nothing, there was an agenda to accomplish. But she said, outside the clinic, when those people with those placards were yelling at me, she said, it absolutely confirmed my decision to go have that abortion, even though I didn't want to. She said, it put more of a commitment to go through with the abortion because that was yelling at me. And to me, that's a picture of how it ain't working. The things that we think is going to lessen or is going to cure the problem isn't curing the problem. So I think it maybe we're slow learners here, but we're ready to learn.